Alright everyone, I was gonna pull the engine out of the truck this afternoon. Maybe I still will, I'm not sure. I don't know, I don't remember how long it takes. But I decided, for the name of science, before I pull the motor out, I'm gonna do a compression test on it because I'm really curious to see what 5 years of turbocharged abuse does to one of these things. And I know this motor is pretty tired. So I'm gonna do a compression test on it. So I'm gonna let this warm up for a minute, and I will update you guys in a minute. If it runs. Back to when I'm doing a compression test. Alright, I got all the spark plugs out. Kind of interesting spread here. I'm not sure why number 2 is so rich. That's kind of interesting. Compared to number 3, that is really weird. They don't look too terribly bad. 6 doesn't look great. This one's got oil on it. None of that's really surprising. I know this engine's tired. I can't explain the rich on 2 and 6 though. Alright, so I got all the plugs out. I'm gonna thread that compression tester in there, starting at number 1, and just go on down the line. Alright, so I got the compression tester threaded in the number 1 hole, and I've got the fuel pump relay pulled, and I've also got, I just took the distributor cap off altogether and unplugged all the wires. So we should be good to turn this thing over and check compression. I'm actually really curious to see what this looks like. In all the years that this has been, that I've had this running, I've never done a compression test on it. I dragged it out of the weeds. This whole truck I dragged out of the weeds probably 10 years ago. And it had been sitting there for 19 years. We got it running, and a couple years later I put a turbo on it, and it's been turbocharged for the last 5 years. And all that time I've never done a compression test on it. I'm really curious to see what the numbers are in this engine. So I'm gonna go turn the key and we'll see what happens. A whopping 60 PSI. It's no wonder this thing even runs. Goodness gracious. I had a gut feeling it was going to be way under 100. So let's go on down the line and see where we're at. Alright, here's a progress update. Now the compression checks went 60, 70, 70, 70, 78, 68. Not sure if that's accurate or not. It was a compression tester that I rented from AutoZone. I'm having a hard time believing it's that low, but I expected it to be like 80 or 90, but I mean, it seems like at 60 it'd have a hard time even running, and this thing didn't run that bad. But that's the only numbers I have to go off of because I don't have any other compression testers. But maybe they were that low, I don't know. Well, we got this engine stripped down. I'm hoping that I can take it out just like this without pulling the turbo and the manifolds and everything, but I may get myself in trouble and end up pulling that stuff off. I don't know, we'll see. Gonna try and yank this thing out of here. Thanks to Malachi. He is my parents' 13-year-old neighbor. He came over and actually helped me out quite a bit on this thing, so thanks to him. We got this thing torn down, got the radiator out and everything. Getting ready to yank this thing out of here. A guy is real nervous for this engine stand right now. Hope that doesn't fall off there. I mean, we'll see. It's got a lot of extra weight on it. Probably should take the turbo and stuff up there, but I don't think I will. I'll let it fall on the ground and break. But got the engine out sitting on a stand. I will make a video. I want to take this engine apart. I want to see what the inside looks like after 5 years of being abused with a 78 and then 72 millimeter turbo and several times of 20 plus PSI. I'm real curious to see what the pistons and rings look like. But we got the engine out. Now I can start getting ready, stealing parts off of this one to put on my new motor.